What is going on, snipers? Naeem Al-Obeidi here. I hope you're all enjoying your day today. Let's go ahead and just dive into our daily cryptocurrency market analytics and update for today. We're going to be looking at the cryptocurrency market as a whole, being that we've been on such a bull run with all of these altcoins and Bitcoin just now breaking through all of these resistance levels. As you guys know, we are now heading towards the big resistance of 9,000. And we're going to take a look at the technical analysis here for Bitcoin. Let's actually just pull up the 1 hour chart really quick and see what we're watching right now. I want you all to realize that every single time we've went up over the past 2 weeks, we've seen these huge uprising in prices, and it's always just going right through these resistance levels. We're not really seeing resistance at resistance levels. We're seeing some sharp price movements up at resistance levels, which is a known reversal pattern. If you ever know about having a double bottom, typically after a double bottom, you'll see an ascending channel forming, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. And you can see once, twice, 3, 4 times we've broken through these resistance levels, and I am expecting this to happen a 4th time here at this big even here, being that 9,000 here. If you pull back to this 4-hour chart, you can see how we found resistance here previously and almost formed a double top before seeing that retracement all the way back down to these lower lows. But now that we're heading back up, in my opinion, all it's going to take is another exuberance in volume to take this price level to the next level. If we pull up the 1-day RSI as well, just so you have an idea of what I'm looking at here and what I'm paying attention to, is the fact that we finally have broken bullish into that 60 zone for RSI, and Bitcoin has not yet seen the exuberance that we're expecting for these RSI levels to be completely overbought. So at this point, in my opinion, dollar cost averaging your position into Bitcoin is the smartest decision to make, knowing that we're in these bullish zones, and I'm extremely excited about that. We've had some awesome trades over the past couple of days. If you guys are Patreons getting our trade alerts, by the way, we are opening back up for a limited amount of time our Sapphire, Emerald, and Diamond memberships, and we are going to be raising prices for the whole memberships in general as well sometime soon. If you are grandfathered into these current prices, then you will keep these forever. The reason we're doing this is we are switching off of this platform soon. It's going to be a lot more intricate, complex, and advanced. We're going to have more analysts, and we're going to have a lot of cool stuff coming. I'm going to talk more about that. But the basic premise of our trade alerts is pretty much sending out these daily signals. This was one yesterday from Ncash with over 15% profits. We had another one for SYS today, another big profit margin there as well. And then several others. We had a couple of them hit stop loss, and then one of them still on the way up. But these opportunities are coming into this market for one specific reason. And here's a really cool article that I found today that I'd love to share with you guys here. Bitcoin nears 9,000 as crypto buy orders compose 92% of the market. For the first time since March 2017, buy orders now compose over 92% of market activity. The massive surge could potentially exceed the monstrous late 2017 run-up. Cryptocurrency buy market percentage is currently at a massive 92% greater than the December 2017 high of 88%. So we are seeing more buyers in the market than we saw in December, where we saw the huge exuberance and rally towards around 20,000 US dollars. And you can see here, buy order presence hints towards a massive run up in the near future. And I'm not going to go through this whole article, but it's talking about a $25,000 price prediction. And I would not be surprised. Looking at this market, you can see the amount of exuberance we're seeing here. And just in total market capitalization, the majority of these altcoins are over 30% up. This is a big deal. Now, what coins am I most bullish about in the next 1 to 2 weeks? Well, today we're going to be having a Ruby and above mastermind. I'm going to be talking about specific coins, but I've also drawn a couple out for you just to have an idea of what coins I'm looking at right now. You can see a lot of these coins are under 10% up in the last 7 days, and we used this metric 2 weeks ago, and we talked about Monero, for example, that was under 10%. And you can see it's now over 30%. So I like to look at coins that have not yet seen the type of exuberance that the majority of the market has seen, because once again, every single time you see more liquidity come into the market, it's going to divide itself upon many different asset classes. And in this case, some of these asset classes will be overlooked, like NEO, for example. We haven't heard much about NEO. Most people are focused on EOS being the blockchain platform competitor to Ethereum, and they forgot about NEO. And you can see it's only 8% up in the past 7 days, and it's only at $75, while Ethereum is already surpassing 600 and Bitcoin is right back up to 9,000. In my opinion, NEO is going to be due for another breakout soon. The Binance coin, we saw a major retracement after the coin burn because we saw a ton of hype prior to the coin burn, but still very intrinsically valuable coin. less than a percent. It's actually negative right now in the past 7 days, even with this bull market. Verge, as we know, with the announcement of their partnership, saw a major sell-off because most people bought the hype, sold the news, but that doesn't mean there's no intrinsic value. In my opinion, Verge is better off today partnered with these huge companies than it was 2 weeks ago when it wasn't partnered with these huge companies. So in my opinion, still has more intrinsic value than it did before. And at these lower price levels, it's definitely going to be due for a breakout. Other coins, including Wanchain, Saya Coin, less than 10%, Waves, Ontology, awesome platform coins, Komodo, the first use case of atomic swaps, only 6% up. A ton of different coins, in my opinion, have a lot of opportunity in this market as long as you're aware of what's going to happen once we see this market go from 400 billion to 500 billion. And the reason we're expecting a larger bull run than we saw in December of 2017 is because the majority of the market right now is retail investor oriented, but we're starting to see institutional investors interest in the market, and that's going to be the exuberance that we want to see for this market to surpass 1 trillion. You can see here as well, altcoin dominance is starting to level off a little bit while Bitcoin dominance is also starting to level off. In my opinion, we might see a little bit of horizontal movement here because Bitcoin is due for a small breakout, so we might see Bitcoin rise a little bit in dominance, but I still think altcoins over time are going to start reaching that 30 to 35% dominance. Right now, we're right around 23%, and the all-time highs were pretty much right around 25%. So I am expecting that to start to shift towards that 30%. We are at the levels we were at in December. So you can see here in December, we were around that 23%. We're actually further than we were in December. So knowing that altcoin dominance is higher than it was in December, knowing that more individuals are going into these new exchanges like Binance and KuCoin, in my opinion, we're going to start to see this dominance play a huge factor in the market soon. So with that being said, let's go into these altcoins and take a look at some technical analysis here. I have Ethereum and Ripple pulled up here. I do want to talk about Ethereum forming a potential rounding bottom due for a breakout. You can see it's now starting to go above that 200-day moving average, which is indicated here in orange. And that 200-day moving average is going to act as a very strong resistance, in my opinion. And it's also going to coincide with what we're seeing here with the majority of other coins where they are rising above their 200-day moving averages. So you can see here, for example, XRP right above that 200-day moving average. In my opinion, Ethereum is going to be due to go over there, but it's going to most likely see a retracement back, forming a handle. If you don't know what a cup and handle looks like, or a rounding bottom in this case, cup and handles are different, in which cup and handles come from a breakout, rounding bottoms come from a retracement. But you can see here this pattern is sometimes also called a saucer bottom and demonstrates a long-term reversal, showing that the stock is moving from a downward trend towards an upward trend instead. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing here with Ethereum. And we'll talk about that in just a second. Let's see who we have on our live audience, by the way. We've got Christian80 saying, because they are already coming in. Yes, Oscar Campuzano says, how do you know the institutions are coming in? I just came back from a conference, actually. Good question, Oscar. I was at the ICO Summit 20, and I'm telling you, institutions are eyeing this market right now. They understand that there's opportunity here. You've got huge companies like Amazon now releasing blockchain-based cloud servers. And it's just Walmart, Amazon, Apple, everyone's getting into blockchain. It's only going to be a matter of time when they're going to start utilizing the actual cryptocurrencies that have intrinsic value, like the XRP coin, for example. Ripple has been seeing such an exuberance because of these huge partnerships, but these huge partnerships are just an entry gate for Ripple to get into these big players' markets and eventually adopt their technology, like we saw back in the 2000s in the dot-com bubble, where Microsoft stepped its foot into the doors of all of these major corporations with their hardware, and then eventually transitioning those corporations from utilizing their hardware to also utilizing their software. So Lawrence Brewer says, what's up, snipers? What is up? Steven says, love your videos, Naeem. Keep up the great work. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Sajal says, hi, brother. Daniel Kasi says, hey, Naeem. Chardan says, hey. Man, it's good seeing you guys. It's almost like it's been a while. Glenna says, nice going, Naeem. Thank you so much. Swedish Trucking says, which institutions are coming in? We know the Rockefellers, they have a huge fund. They just recently started to seek interest into crypto markets. There are some huge big-time investors. If you watch some of our past videos, we've talked about some of these institutions and citing them as well. Christian80 says, great channel, man. Thank you, brother. Palm Beach 1 says, nice beard. I appreciate that. Parrish says, love your work. You are adding values. Thank you so much. Ayash says, hi, welcome. Randy says, no more lagging. Oh my gosh, I am so oblivious. It was such an obvious issue. I just had my servers set to across the world. I needed to set my servers in like a local area. It was ridiculous how easy it was to fix the lag. So I went ahead and put it back up to 1080p and everything because I have good internet. It's not because my internet sucked, and it's not because I was on Pornhub like everybody else was saying when I did the Pornhub video. They're like, get off of Pornhub. I'm like, I'm not on Pornhub. We're talking about the Pornhub partnership. You guys are ridiculous. Sir John says, hey brother, thanks for today's trade alert. You're very welcome. Yes. First Form Fitness says, haven't seen anyone with this many accurate picks. Killing it, bro. Hey man, it's all about technical analysis. Matter of fact, why don't we just dive into this technical analysis, because I do see some further upside for Ethereum. I talked about bouncing off of this 200-day moving average, but in my opinion, it's going to be due to go over and find support at that 200-day moving average before we see any sort of significant retracement. You can see we're already seeing a little bit of resistance at that 200-day, but I don't think it's going to take much for Ethereum to go right past that. And what's also cool is we're seeing these 3 moving averages on most of these larger cap coins. If you don't know what 3 moving averages is, this is the 50, 100, and the 200-day moving average. It pretty much is showing that a lot of these averages are starting to kind of mingle together, which shows a lot of strength, because typically when moving averages are so far apart, that means there's been some sort of exuberant price actions. But now we're starting to see moving averages starting to coincide with each other and to converge together, which is showing a lot more strength. You can see just a freaking behemoth of convergence going on here of a ton of lines, and that's a good thing because that means that we're seeing these moving averages find more strength. And that's very good because that means we can have an upward trend that's solid and intrinsically accurate rather than some sort of speculative trend, which is really cool. But in my opinion, what Ethereum is starting to do is form this rounding bottom. I think we're going to start to see resistance at this Fibonacci retracement here. I think we have a little bit of a ways to go all the way up to around $714 before seeing any sort of significant retracement in which you want to take profits and then enter in a new position if you are swing trading it. And I think that would make sense because you can see we found previous support and resistance here. So once we can head towards that $715 price range, that's also going to bring this RSI to these overbought levels. We'll see a very healthy retracement. And I think that handle that forms is going to be the indicator of this huge breakout that's to come. A lot of people are saying that a lot of these other D applications like EOS, Cardano, Neo are going to be taking over Ethereum and competing with it at a higher level. But in my opinion, there's just so much room for growth in this market that Ethereum is not going to see itself go downhill because of competitors coming in, because EOS is a whole different type of platform. It's not like Ethereum. Ethereum is very decentralized. It has thousands and thousands of nodes. EOS doesn't. EOS has 21 centralized nodes, and it's more so used for use cases that require speed rather than scalability. But Ethereum, in my opinion, is more scalable than EOS. EOS is scalable to a certain degree, but it's not as decentralized because of the nodes, right? But that 21 node factor allows it to have some speed. Sorry, I just got a phone call. Somebody says, bulls on parade, Robert Adams. Ronald R says, check out Oyster Pearl, please. We're going to be doing requests on our our mastermind today, but I don't mind checking out Oyster Pearl. What is the ticker? I have not done too much research on Oyster Pearl, but I don't mind checking it out. Let's go ahead and type in. Oh, it's not even pulling up. It might be a different ticker. Let's go ahead and type in Oyster Pearl, PRL. All right, PRL. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, it doesn't look like it's on TradingView, so unfortunately I can't do that technical analysis. Somebody says, Steven, should we wait for another dip to buy BTC, or is right now a good time? In my opinion, we're heading up. There's no, remember what I talked about in the beginning of the video, every single time we've been seeing these resistance levels met, and we've found strength at the top of these resistance levels, we've just broken right through them, right? So we have these ascending support lines that form, and then we just break through. That's what we've been seeing, right? Look, ascending support line, and I'm waiting for this breakthrough. We saw this happen multiple times here. Look, ascending support line, we broke through. Ascending support line, we broke through. Ascending support line, we broke through. And we just keep seeing the same pattern here. It's indicative of a reversal, right? When you see a reversal, we double bottomed here. We knew the bottom was down here. We're starting to see these quick breakouts through these resistance levels. And in my opinion, that right there is the bullish sign of the market going up. Somebody says, how do I get your trade alerts? Our trade alerts are on patreon.com/snipers. So this is how the page looks. We have our new memberships that we just opened up for a limited amount of time, Sapphire, Emerald, Diamond. Sapphires pretty much get coin reports every week of coins that have intrinsic value for the long term that aren't in the large cap coins, so that you can have coins that are like Zilliqa that we talked about 3 weeks ago that now have seen over 100% gains. Emerald will give you VIP access to get all of your questions and chart requests answered by a technical analyst. And then Diamond gives you one-on-one mentorship up to 4 sessions every single week or every single month, up to an hour with an analyst. So we're going to be opening that back up, but that's all located at patreon.com/snipers. So he says, check Oyster Pro on CoinMarketCap. Okay, let's check Oyster Pro on CoinMarketCap and see what's happening here. 10% up, 74 cents. Nice. What I like about Oyster Pro is you can see it's obviously seeing some sort of a consolidation here. Hasn't seen any sort of exuberance yet. It saw that previously with all-time highs reaching right around like, what, $4.23. So being at 70 cents right now, knowing the all-time highs at $4.23, even though I can't do a technical analysis on this chart, being that there's no indicators and advanced charts I can utilize, I still think this is looking good just based on the CoinMarketCap graph. Because look, you're at these support levels. Remember, trading is all about profits. It's all about risk and reward, right? The more risk and reward you have, the more attractive a trade becomes. So if you have high reward, low risk, that's a great trade. If you have high risk, low reward, that's a bad trade. So if you see here with Oyster Pro, there's obviously a lot of reward versus risk because you can obviously set stop losses at these known support levels. And that right there is how you want to trade as a swing trader and make and take advantage of these quick swings. Somebody says, do you expect BNB significant price movement by the end of this month? Russ McClanahan. Let's pull up BNB BTC really quick and check a look at the technical analysis here. So if we pull up the 1 day here, what I'm watching right now is for BNB to start to curve back down. You can see the RSI is starting to curve down and to find some support right along 36, because you can see 36 is really the level in which we saw this coin bounce off of multiple times, and we're still just not there yet. You can see we're starting to curve back down. If we were to pull up the MACD here, you can see we still have a little bit of a ways to go. We have all of these sellers here, but in my opinion, we've seen quite a bit of them. So as soon as this histogram starts to level itself out a little bit, which is going to look like this, where this line right here starts to go down a little bit, and you start to see this histogram complete itself, that's when you start to see the buyers come in, and this is where you want to have your position in. So you want to be able to buy as soon as this starts to curve, because that curvature is what's going to indicate the start to the buyers coming in. And when those buyers come in, that's the best position. So in my opinion, if you were to look at this 4-hour chart, there isn't much strength here at these levels. You can see we've double topped right here at the 200-day moving average. We're starting to go back down. That's actually not a 200-day right now. If we pull up the 1 day, you can see where's the 200-day at? Way down here. So I still think we have quite a bit of a ways to go down right now. We're bouncing off of the 50-day moving average, but you can see we were below it at one point. So I think we might consolidate down to the 100-day moving average. I think that would be a fair point for the RSI to start to head back down to 36 as well, and for that MACD to finally find that curvature. And once that happens, I think that would be the best entry point for BNB. Hopefully that added some sort of value. Let's go ahead and take a look at XRP. XRP is looking really good in my opinion. I'm going to show you a couple different things. You can see here, beautiful cup forming. We're starting to see a little bit of a retracement. I think we're going to see a little bit more of a retracement towards that 200-day moving average. I think the biggest thing to watch right now is the fact that we found resistance right along this fib zone. If we can break out past this fib zone, I think there'll be further upside, but I don't think there'll be much further upside. I think right now what Ripple has seen is quite a bit of exuberance. It was one of the highest performing coins over the past week, and in my opinion, it's going to be due for a small retracement before seeing some higher highs, most likely back down to these fib levels. You can see with this MACD, we're starting to see sellers come in. It's starting to curve down. It was completely overstretched. If we pull up that 1 day as well, same exact thing. Actually, we're seeing buyers on the 1 day, which is good, but there's that positive divergence. So, you know, we're still seeing buyers on the MACD on the daily, which is good. I just think the RSI is way too overbought right now for us to justify higher price levels right now before seeing lower price levels. So I think XRP is one of the coins that if we were to go on CoinMarketCap and see total gains over the past 7 days, it's pretty high right now at 32% in comparison to coins like Ethereum at 21%, which have a little bit more upside. So why trade Ripple if it has less upside than Ethereum, right? That's kind of my philosophy there. So that's why I don't like to trade coins that have less upside. Trade the coins that have more upside. That's why Bitcoin, in my opinion, is probably the best bet right now with a 7% gain in the past 7 days in comparison to most of the coins over 20%. It's just a better opportunity, more upside in my opinion. Tony Butt says Ripple is too manipulated. Edit name says, no one cares about a centralized coin. LTC, please. I'm just going to go with that comment because I think a lot of people do want to see LTC. But Ripple's been making some moves lately. I mean, if you see what it's doing, I thought it was only going to be working with the banks, but it's starting to partner with Walmart, it's starting to partner with Apple. That's a big deal. I mean, that is really what changed my sentiment. Now, the cool thing about Litecoin is you can see we're finding some resistance along that 200-day. In my opinion, there is a big possibility that we can go above that and find support. And I think that's what's going to happen, knowing that the MACD is starting to curve. But more importantly, this RSI has broken bullish. And what I mean by that is you can see 60 was a level in which we had to break in order to confirm that we're seeing higher levels. And we did break that. Even though we're seeing a little bit of retracement, it was enough to justify that we've finally crossed that barrier. And you can see previously that 60 acted as a very, very, very bullish sign here. As soon as we passed 60 here, we saw this huge run up. So my opinion, if you wanted to buy into Litecoin right now, the best time to get in is to buy the breakout on the RSI. Set up an alert here at 60 so that you know as soon as it crosses 60 here, that's a bullish sign that it's going to start seeing those higher levels. And you can see volume is starting to increase. We're starting to see that curvature, that upward trend starting to form. We found some known support levels right here, right around 107. And we didn't go below that. So in my opinion, Litecoin also looking very good. I would say that in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I could see Litecoin past 160 US dollars for sure. I mean, you can see the next known resistance is right around 175. So I could see it going all the way back up to 175, possibly even forming a cup here as well. So you've got this cup and handle forming. So that could go there, find that handle, to then see the major breakout past 200. So I think that would be the ideal scenario. Litecoin and Ethereum, very similar. And I think Bitcoin is probably more bullish than both Litecoin and Ethereum right now. If you go on the cryptocurrency market cap, you can see Litecoin here, 14% up. You've got Ethereum 21% up, but Bitcoin only 7% up. So still a little bit more bullish. Somebody says, can you review Oyster Pearl, please? We just did the Oyster Pearl on CoinMarketCap, so if you want like a more in-depth review, I would have to probably do a full video on that. Neon Visual says, they don't want to learn. We'll see how much they want banks around when they grow up and need mortgage or a car loan or a business loan or a credit loan. What are you talking about, man? Andre says, what's your take on BCH, Bitcoin Cash? I think it's seen way too much of an exuberance right now. It saw a huge retracement. It went to these really low price levels, and now it's over 59% up. I don't like to buy when a coin is up 60% in the past 7 days. It's just due for a small correction. It's just way too high. There's way more opportunity, there's less riskier trades out there than a coin that's up 60%, in my opinion. Somebody says, when it goes on a bull run, do you think it will pass 20,000 for Bitcoin? Yeah, for sure, Temple Ray. Very simple. It's intrinsically valuable. It's a limited coin. It's an entry gate to the majority of these other coins. And not only that, institutional investors are eyeing Bitcoin right now. It's one of the only coins that won't be deemed a security under the Howey test, knowing that it wasn't created as an investment opportunity. But all these other coins that are coming out are investment opportunities, and they guarantee or they promise a potential return. Bitcoin didn't. So I think it's one coin that's intrinsically valuable and will continue to be intrinsically valuable because it's literally like the digital gold, right? And 20,000 was just the start of that. Was a retail investor speculation bubble. I mean, what happens when there's institutional investors coming in and speculating on the price of Bitcoin? That's going to be a whole nother ballgame. AK50 says, what is the difference in trade alert in gold, ruby, and sapphire? Is they all the same? Yes. So all the trade alerts are the same. So the trade alerts we post are all the same for any one of our subscriptions. But once you start getting into like the Ruby levels, Rubies, you guys have Mastermind. Today, actually, after this live stream, we're all going to be heading over to the Ruby and above Mastermind. And that's where you guys can actually ask specific questions, get specific coin chart requests done as well. Sapphires, they get weekly coin reports of long-term holds. So coins that have long-term potential, like 3 weeks ago, we talked about Zilliqa, and now it's over 100%. Emeralds, they get VIP access, so they get any of their coin requests done with charts from analysts, and they also get all of their questions answered for any of their alerts or anything that might be personally, inhibiting them from something. And then diamonds get mentorship. So there's just different levels. You can just go on patreon.com/snipers if you want to check that out, AK50. Somebody says, are my 50,000 on BAB going to make me a millionaire? I don't know if that's going to make you a millionaire. Jason Hansen says, Encash, please. We already did a trade alert on Encash. So we were able to lock in about 15% profits. And that was, if you were on our Patreon, that was 19 hours ago that we posted that one. So I already am expecting a retracement right now from that one. It already hit the take profit zone. Lawrence Brand says, what percentage of your crypto investments do you allocate for swing trades? About 30 to 40%, depending on how confident I am in a trade. Like with Bitcoin right now, I've got, my positions into Bitcoin. I've got trailing stop losses set up as well, just in case, to keep my profits. And that allows me to sleep in peace. Ottoman El Amrani says, Bitcoin is probably the safest bet. Ron Thomas, 9, isn't that a bearish divergence between BTC price and RSI levels on the one-day chart? Great call on Zoe, by the way. Thank you, Ron. I don't see a bearish divergence. I mean, I'm not looking at the divergence as much as I'm looking at the historic pattern that Bitcoin has been following at these resistance levels. Because every time we've seen resistance, I mean, look at it right now. We are at, what are you at? 8,900 right now. I mean, we're like right at the resistance levels are not supposed to act as horizontal trends or horizontal channel levels, right? Resistance levels are supposed to show resistance. You hit the resistance and you drop, right? We're not dropping from these resistance levels. It happened multiple times. Look, we headed right towards the resistance level. We popped right through. All it takes right now is a buy order to come in, another splurge of buy volume, and that's it. It breaks right through 9,000. It's not that hard. I mean, look at this article. 92% of the market right now is buying. We've got very little sellers in the market. We've exhausted a lot of the sellers, in my opinion. William Blow says, if you're so confident the market will surpass the December rally, wouldn't it be best to hodl? If you want, William, but I think you can make more money on the swings because we're going to see a red market soon. Do you want to keep your coins during the red market, or would you rather buy more during the red market after you sold at a huge profit? So it's up to you how you want to play it, but you want to have a long-term portfolio, a swing trading portfolio, and a day trading portfolio. That's the point of allocating your assets and diversifying properly. If you haven't read this book, I would highly recommend it. Oh, actually, I was reading it yesterday. It's called Principles. Here's a good one, Mastering Bitcoin. Highly recommend this. Mastering Bitcoin, all about the actual ledger, distributed aspect of it, the decentralization. Very simple, but very, very complex in my opinion because it goes into a lot of coding. Very good book. But Principles is the one I was trying to mention. But it talks about allocating assets and diversifying properly as the best form of risk management. Dylan says, institutional money is going to come through via over-the-counter orders. It won't necessarily affect exchange prices. I don't know about that, Dylan. There are a lot of exchanges being developed right now for institutions, like one that I was at a conference 2 days ago for, and it was an amazing exchange called Sprocket. Frank Vargas says, is it at 40% tax if you sell under 1 year? It depends. That's if you're in the highest tax bracket. SS says, Neo, woo, please and calm down. I think Neo's going to be big. Neo is down right now. I think Neo's going to be the next breakout, kind of like EOS. Look at that, 8% up in the past 7 days. Nobody's paying attention. It's only at $75. Neo's got some awesome platforms being built on it, awesome applications. I mean, it's going to go head-to-head with Ethereum, so... Anyways, how do you keep track of taxes with all these trades, bruh? I would use Blockfolio or cointracking.info. There's also a really cool program called 3 Commas. It's in the link in the description below, but it allows you to set up consecutive stop losses and take profits at the same time. So most exchanges don't let you do that, but if you're on 3 Commas, which the link is in the description, you can actually do that. Somebody says McAfee. Yes, McAfee is funny. I was actually invited to this conference called Futurama in Dubai, and McAfee was there, and I posted a tweet with McAfee being a guest speaker, and then 2 days later I got a message from the event organizer like, McAfee isn't part of the conference anymore. I'm like, well, what happened? They're like, he is crazy. And that's all they said. I'm like, okay, no more questions. Dylan says, coin tracking is fantastic for taxes, but expensive. Hey, you got to pay for good service, right? Christian80 says, Delta is great. What do I think about Nano? Neil or Nice said, what do you think about Nano? I think Nano is a great coin. It's fast. It has very good blockchain use case, and it works. So very bullish on Nano. I haven't seen many blockchains as fast as Nano. Vincent says, check Qlink. All right, now we're just going to a ton of requests. We had somebody says 400 likes for Naeem to wear a Bitcoin suit jacket. That's a deal. If we hit 400 likes, I'll wear a Bitcoin suit jacket and then shave a Bitcoin in my beard. How about that? Oh, shoot. I thought we had 400 viewers. We have 500 viewers. I think we're still fine. Let me make sure we don't hit 400 likes. I love betting with y'all. Imagine going to the... Oh, man. We're at 91 likes. Okay. I'm fine. Okay. Whoa. Now it's going up. I don't want to have to shave a Bitcoin in my beard, actually. Let's not talk about that. Let's move on. Oh, wow. Now we're heading to 117. Man, now I'm getting sweaty. You guys are getting me nervous. You guys says, pump the likes, boys. I'm just imagining people like pumping likes now. Palm Beach says, what is in your long-term portfolio? We're actually going to be talking about that at the Ruby Mastermind tonight. There are a couple coins that I'm expecting to be listed on Binance soon, and I think that's going to pump the coins by around April 30th of this month, knowing that that's when I'm expecting them to be listed. Somebody says, Cryptology, TokenPay has great potential. Yes. Dalton says, liquidate him. Holy crap, the likes just went up to 200. Cryptology, oh my gosh. Let's not hit 400, guys. Oh man, now it's shooting up. But some other coins in my long-term portfolio, I do want to talk about some. Definitely Zilliqa, very bullish on Zilliqa. Very bullish on KuCoin shares as well. I think KuCoin is going to be a major exchange very soon. I think a lot of coins are in need of these exchanges that have these capabilities of lowering transaction fees, for example, like what the BNB token does. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that type of use case soon. So I think the KuCoin shares are pretty good. Other coins that I'm watching right now include Encash isn't bad. I was doing a little bit of my research on Encash. Byteball, I haven't done as much research about, but it's only 0.4% up right now. And I know Byteball has a pretty good team in place. So knowing that, I think this is going to see a little bit of a rally soon. And it's just market sentiment. Electroneum down 3% in the past 7 days. It's a coin that I've been bullish on, and I'm still very bullish on it. I just think that people are getting attracted to all of these other coins and leaving a lot of these smaller cap coins. Because if you go down, you can see a lot of these small caps are starting to see negative price levels, like negative 8% here. And you can see a lot of these red numbers are coming from these lower cap coins versus the mid cap coins, which are seeing the majority of the green. So it's just that division of liquidity within the market that we're seeing. Somebody says ISCX overdue for a pump, possibly. Credits, please. Pre-beta achieved. Yes, so credits was actually one of the coins that we're going to be talking about in the Ruby and Above Mastermind tonight. So credits is only available on KuCoin right now, but I am expecting this to be available soon on Binance. If you look at credits, if you go to this chart here, you can see it hasn't seen the type of exuberance we've seen with the majority of coins. It's only listed on KuCoin and several other exchanges, not on Binance yet, and they have a really good team in place, a beta launching soon. In my opinion, this is going to be another breakout soon. So this is what we're going to be talking about, and we're actually going to start heading over to the Ruby and Above Mastermind right now. So if you are Rubies and above, I will see you at the Mastermind. If you want to submit a question before the Mastermind, we posted this post on Patreon yesterday. It says Ruby Plus Mastermind on April 22nd. There's a link here where you can submit your questions, but this is only for Rubies. So submit your questions and your coin requests right now. I'm going to prepare for the Mastermind. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully I added some value. We're working on a lot of things on the back end. We're trying to bring more value to our community, and the way we're doing that is by enhancing all of our platforms. So hopefully you enjoyed this market update. Thank you all for watching, and until our next one, snipers out. You're very welcome, NYC.